I got promoted in just 90 days after resuming at my very first full time job in tech. In this video, I'm going to share 5 things I did proactively and on the job that helped me get there. And I've got a bonus tip, at the end of the video. So make sure you stick around for that. Let's get into it. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Princess Akari, and this channel is all about helping you become the best version of yourself. So if you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. So before we get into like the main points for today, let me give you guys a quick backstory on how I even got this job. I literally shot my shot at the CEO. Yes. So he tweeted something about, having more women on his team in the following year, and I saw it as my chance. So I put together a pitch, I attached my portfolio, and then I reached out to him via Twitter DM. That conversation led to me having like a series of interviews and eventually landing the role. Mind you, they were not hiring PMs at the time. So this was such a big deal for me, a very big deal. And also, this was my first full-time position in tech. So I had been freelancing since I transitioned into tech. So getting that job was a very big milestone for me. Yes, congrats to me. And getting promoted so quickly after, made it all even, special. So, yeah, like I said, congrats to me again. Now, these are the 5 things I did that I believe helps me get that promotion. Number one, I set the precedence. So, before I even officially joined the company, I had made it very clear what I was aiming for, like even like during the interview process and also in my first few weeks, I was very intentional about expressing my interest in learning, growing, and being promoted. So I didn't just say, oh, I'm going to work hard in this company. It was more like, let's check back in 3 months and evaluate my performance for a possible promotion, because I plan to give this role my everything. Like I was very clear about it and I was communicating it nonstop. So this was important because when the promotion conversation eventually came up, it wasn't a surprise to anyone. Really, I had already set the tone and managed expectation from the beginning, so it was very easy. It was also very clear that in those first few months I really wanted to prove myself. So my advice to you, if you're starting a new role, I'd encourage you to set your own precedence as well. Let your leaders know what your intentions are, in a very confident, in a very proactive way. By doing that, you try your best to adjust the narrative and their mindset as well. So it will likely be on their minds like, oh yeah, she told us this is what she wanted, and then she's working so hard and she's delivering on this and this and this. Number two, I set clear goals. This was a game changer, and if this didn't happen, it may have been a lot more difficult for me. A lot of us work so hard in our jobs, we're juggling different projects, we're solving issues, even helping people outside our work scope. Yeah, all of that is great. But if it's not directly tied to your KPIs, it may not count when it's time to evaluate your performance. That's when you hear things like, no one really asks you to do all of that, or you were just helping. So I knew that I didn't want all of that to be my story, so I set very clear measurable goals for myself. I made sure that I understood exactly what my KPIs were and aligned my efforts to those KPIs. That way I could track my progress, measure my impact and build a strong case for why I deserved to move up or be promoted at that time, knowing that the other things I would add to my main work, that's the extra things, might just be for probably visibility or learning new things, not necessarily for promotion. Yeah. So now the timeline for setting these goals may vary depending on your company. For me, it was a 3 month window because I had already set that expectation with leadership prior to the time. So for you, it might be 6 months or even a year, or even when you guys are doing promotional cycles. But whatever the time frame is, make sure you're not just doing random acts of hard work, like I say. Tie everything you do back to clear goals that connect directly to your role and the business outcomes that your team cares about. Number three, I was burning the midnight candle, guys. Let me be very honest, this is not glamorous at all, and it's not something that I personally recommend as a long term lifestyle. But in those early months, I worked like crazy. My very first week, I was on the streets doing discovery work and talking to businesses and all of that. My very first week, yeah. I also took up like multiple responsibilities. I went beyond my job description. I made sure that whatever I touched was excellent. I was just doing all of that. I sacrificed a lot of work life balance during that time. Again, this is not career advice. Please don't come for me. But if you're extremely bullish about your career growth, something usually has to give. And often that something is comfort or something else, but something must give. So I treated that period as an investment. I told myself this is just temporary. If I can put in, this level of intensity now, I can reap the rewards later. And that's exactly what happened. By the time promotion conversations came up, it was undeniable that I had added value in multiple areas. Now, again, I wouldn't advise, burning yourself out forever. Long term, you need balance, of course. But if you're just starting out and want to accelerate quickly, sometimes it means, putting in those extra hours, raising your hands to receive more work and proving that you're not just capable but you're also reliable. So yeah, number four, I was open to learning and I was also interested in the entire company's work. So one thing I didn't do was limit myself to just product because, I was a product manager. Yes, I was hired as a PM, but I made it my business to understand as much of the company's work as I possibly could. I got involved in different initiatives. I offered to help where I could. I even made some travels, and I made myself available for tasks outside my immediate scope. Why? Because when you understand how different parts of the business connect, you'll be able to make better decisions. You also become more valuable. I mean, like, I wasn't only saying, oh, this is what I'm supposed to do as a PM, or here's what the product needs. I was also considering like other areas I was interested. Also, quick public service announcement. Hard work does not scare me at all. I am not afraid of hard work at all. So if something needs to be done, if something needs to get done, I will grab it with both hands and deliver. So that mindset really helped me build trust quickly within the company. So people saw that I was not only competent, I was also dependable, I was reliable. And in those early days, showing that willingness to learn, to work, to stretch yourself beyond, your corner of work can really, really set you apart. Number five, I shared my work and I spoke up. Cho, cho, cho. You can do amazing work behind the scenes, but if no one knows about it, it won't count as much as you think. So I made it a point to share my progress, my reports, and the outcomes of the projects that I was working on. In fact, I went as far as asking for permission from my manager to present my own reports. So he also gave me lots of opportunities to share what I was working on because I really, really, really wanted to clearly communicate the impact of my work. God bless my manager for giving me the opportunity. God bless him wherever he is. And as you guys already know, I like to talk. So I use that to my advantage by speaking up in meetings, sharing updates, and volunteering to present for my team. At the time, there were only team leads were presenting for their team. So over time, it became the norm. People started expecting me to speak up, and that visibility helped position me for growth. I've said this over and over and over and over again, and I will just say it once again. Don't just sit quietly in the corner, hoping that someone just notices you and all the good stuff that you're doing. Make your work visible, tell the story of the impacts you're making, and use every appropriate opportunity to show how you're adding value to the team, to the company, to your products, anything. Now, to the bonus points of today, always have productive one on ones and ask for feedback. So this bonus point is something that I see a lot of people, overlook. Many of us have, one-on-ones with our managers, but what do we actually use that time for? Some of us don't even know what to use our one-on-ones for. Is it just like a casual catch up, or are you being intentional about those conversations? For me, especially at the very early stages, one-on-ones were really important. I use them to align on the priorities, clarity on expectation, and most importantly, feedback. I want to know, what am I doing well? What can I improve? Where do you think I should stretch myself more? Those conversations helped me adjust in real time instead of, waiting for like quarterly review or annual reviews. I ask for feedback everywhere, from my peers, other PMs, product designers, cross-functional teammates as well, even stakeholders that I just work closely with. By doing that, I showed that I wasn't just there to, just do the work, but I was interested in growing and I was interested in becoming better at my job. So if you're not maximizing your one-on-ones, you're leaving growth opportunities on the table. So go into those meetings with clear questions, take notes, and you walk away with actionable insights that you can apply right away. So, guys, those were the major things that I did, and honestly, they paid off. In that company, yeah, I was promoted every single year until I eventually left. And to be honest, all these things I shared are still relevant today. They are not just one of hacks, they are principles you can apply at any stage of your career and in any career at all. So, now I want to hear from you. Which of these things are you going to start working on, or which one resonated with you the most? Just drop it in the comments. I always love reading your thoughts, your comments, your experiences. And of course, don't forget to like this video, share it with someone who might need it. I believe people need to watch this video. I believe so. And also don't forget to subscribe to my channel and turn on notifications so you don't miss my upcoming videos. All right, that's it for me today, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.